$500,000. So let's keep it short and simple. In addition to your closing costs, and it may be as low as 3%, may be as high as 20%, you now have, or even more, you now have an additional $10,000 you have to bring to closing, because that was the contract. Now, that's only if in your contract you stated that you're going to pay the $500,000 even if it doesn't appraise. Now, say for instance you don't have that verbiage in your contract, then me as your buyer's agent have to go in and renegotiate to that $490,000. So that means I will go to the seller's agent and say, hey, it did not appraise for that. Can we get a renegotiation of going down to $490,000 so we can go to the closing? And that has happened at times as well. I have seen it several times where either the seller would allow the drop of the price, or they will meet the buyer halfway and they will cover half and let the buyer cover the other half, or they will give them concessions. It just all depends on what you are able to negotiate with that actual seller's agent. So let's talk about what if the appraisals are low. Because think about it, the bank will only finance what the property appraises at. So again, that means that's money that have to come out. So again, I just talked about, this is an ideal situation. The seller agrees to come down the appraisal value. This was most common until recently, where you're overbidding, and that means you had to bring that additional monies to closing. Number two, you can't cancel the deal. You have the right to cancel the contract without risk to your deposit. So your earnest money is protected in that case. This isn't ideal because you will have wasted time and the money it costs to pay for your inspection and appraisal. And then not to think about that you love the property. It's what you want. And then last but not least, number three, pay above. In this market, a lot of buyers are guaranteed to pay X above appraised value to get their offers accepted. If you love the house, this is something to consider. Again, I do not agree with that. But if that's your forever home and if that's what you want to do, then you can do what you do because it's your money. And again, we have some things about the inspection details. In case of any appraisal differences, buyer will pay cash to purchase a full contracted offer. So this is what I was talking about with the agreements that you may have with the selling agent in order to win. And you can take the time and read these here. Getting the clear to close. So we're getting closer. So let's talk about that for a moment. Once the lender and the title both give the clear to close, so meaning the title is clear, there's no encumbrances or any liens or anything that's stopping to get that clear on the title, and then your lender is saying everything checks out, they did all the verifications, the banking, everything looks good financial wise, things start moving quickly again. Because remember, when you're going through the home inspections, looking at the home, negotiations, that's kind of slow. But then when you get to the financing and you get that clear to close, it speeds up again. Well, we'll do the walkthrough before you close to make sure. Sorry about that. We'll do the walkthrough to make sure everything is good. And generally, walking through the property either the morning of or the evening before to confirm that the property is in the same condition that it was during the inspection. That is very important. You'll wire the remaining cash. So once you get your actual the actual documents that show how much you need to come to closing with, you will then need to wire the money, and they'll give you the title company or the attorney, depending on what state you're in. They'll give you the instructions on how to send the money, and at that point, that's when you will need to go to your bank and wire the money to the title company and or the attorney so that you can get that done. We'll go to the title company together, or again, since this is a Georgia state, Georgia, and I'll break it down for you. Georgia is Georgia is an attorney state, so you generally close at the attorney's office. And then if you are looking at this and you're in Michigan, we use title companies. So it, depending on the state, depends on what they use. We'll go to the title company and or the attorney office together to sign the closing documents, which less than an hour, you'll get your keys. Make sure you bring 2 forms of ID, and if there is if there's an association, bring the original approval letter. So let's talk about where the buyers get stuck. They may get stuck on not having enough money to close. They may get stuck on having buyer's remorse, where they're deciding that maybe they shouldn't do it right now. Maybe something happened. They may get stuck on, and this is a big one too, that I didn't really talk about when you're going through the process. Please, 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 please do not apply for anything. Do not get anything while you're going through the process. When you get that clear to close, once you sign and get those keys in your hand, then you can do what you want. But don't go buy a car, buy furniture, finance anything, or pull your credit. Don't do anything until you get those keys in your hand. And then they also, let's talk about, I should wait 1 more year because I don't feel ready. And that could be possible. You may not feel ready to buy a home. But how do you know that you will ever feel ready? And the longer you wait, it could possibly cost you more money to even buy. Or you may even miss out on the home that you want may be on the market right now. So think about it. If the interest rate goes down again, which I don't believe that it will, I think it's going to kind of stay leveled at where it is now. It's going to be more manageable to be able to get a home, because when the interest rate go down, more people jump into the market, and then it becomes pretty much impossible to get the home you want, because now you're dealing with 30 offers or more. With the market being the way it is now, you're able to possibly get the home you want and offer some incentives to even get that home, just like some of the ones that was suggested in this actual webinar. So, schedule your consultation. Waiting longer can end up costing you thousands more dollars than you'll be able to save. The first step is to schedule your consultation, so at least you know exactly what you need to do to get ready to buy. And I think that is important. If you want to be ready, you got to first get prepared. Preparation always make it a lot easier for you to be successful. But you know, of course, some people say, I'm going to wait till the market crash. Well, since 2019, I've been hearing, I'm going to wait till the market crash. And here we are in 2024. We're dealing with inflation, and I have yet to see the interest rate drop. And with the knowledge that I have and the business that I'm in, the market is still going and people are still buying, and That's what it is. It may dip down a little bit, but that does not mean it's going to go all the way down. Market indicators. The market indicators are showing